Hi, welcome to Eye Openers. I'm your host, Brittany Drozd, and each week I bring you insightful conversations with entrepreneurs that will help you make more money, become a strong leader, and build a business culture that you're proud of. Grab your coffee and let's dive in. In today's episode, I want to speak with you about shrinking the change. Now, oftentimes we hear about big impact, transformations, and things that ensue something ginormous. But the truth is, sometimes the biggest impact we can have is by taking the smallest step. Now, culture transformation projects I'm involved in can sometimes take multiple years. And really, culture and culture building is ongoing. So who's to say if a project really starts or ends, because culture is just how we do things. But if you are in the middle of an effort to change your culture, to strengthen your leadership team, to engage employees, one of the best things you can do is thinking small in order to go big. So in order to shrink the change, there's a few key steps that I want to highlight that will get you there. See, when we come up with these projects or when we are sitting around the conference table with other leaders, people are thinking so big, but then we're slowed down by bureaucratic decision-making. We are stifled by struggles in communication, when really there are things we can do immediately that would signal to the team, the organization, that leadership is serious about this culture change. And in fact, they're starting right now. If you're thinking about taking on an initiative to drive culture or change in your organization, I would start with communication. Lead with your intention. Share with your team members what you want to create and why. I think so often in teams and in organizations that I've been a part of, there are places where there's lack of trust. And when there's lack of trust, people are left to fill in the gaps of information. They're left to make assumptions. And when individuals start making assumptions, they are all over the map. They're often not the same assumption. We don't want to have people do that. We want to give information and not have them guessing why we're doing it. For instance, I think a focus group of key stakeholders in an organizational change project is an important first step. Talk to key people in the company at different levels of the company, different levels of influence, and learn about their experience and what they think might be helpful. But if you do that and you share your intention, then they won't have to wonder why you're asking them. They won't have to be nervous about how to answer these questions. I see this even in teams that already have established trust. There's still this, why are they asking me? You can solve that quickly by just telling them why you're asking it. So lead with your intention, what you want to create. When it's clear that's positive, people want to get behind it. It's going to be way easier to get buy-in when you share why you want to do this project. Another key step in starting to create impact quickly is with empowering your employees. Employees want to be part of a positive change effort. They want to add value. They want to have impact. We can empower them by having them make just the smallest changes. And oftentimes, they already know the change that they want to make. They live their role every day. So of course they know what's working and what's not working. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go along with every single change that's suggested as the leader or as the company owner, but give them a platform. Create a space where they can share suggestions, where they can share what they would love to change or what they think would make a positive impact as it relates to them and their role and their place in the organization. And when you decide what small change would make a big impact, empower them to change it, make them part of it, have them communicate out to the organization. Let them help you with team member buy-in. It is almost 2024, in 2023 when I'm recording this in December. This is no longer a command and control business leadership style. There are not successful companies with just top-down communication. The more that we can empower people at all levels of the organization, the more successful we stand to be, our initiatives stand to be, and our businesses will be. This is one easy way to do that. Let your people be part of the solutions. Lastly, I want to recognize small wins, even when we are on the path to organizational transformation, a multi-year, huge initiative involving lots of people. We should be celebrating small wins along the way. This is what will create momentum for the project to get off the ground. This is what will keep people engaged. They'll be looking for the small wins, whether you start a Slack channel for this, or there are different softwares that highlight this or allow you to nominate small wins. Take part in this. Create ritual around sharing small wins. Let it permeate all the way down to team meetings throughout the organization. By recognizing the small things people do every day, it helps us realize that we all can make an impact. We all stand to make positive change if we really want to. And when people see that as an option, they understand that they have that potential. I have that potential to make that impact too. I have that potential to be recognized and valued too. And they want it. Most people want that positive celebration of themselves and being part of something bigger than themselves, their team, their organization's positive change initiative. Give them the opportunity by celebrating and recognizing the small victories that get you there along the way. So with that, we have talked about beginning with communication and communicating out your intention in doing this work, empowering your employees, and lastly, celebrating small wins. These 3 steps will help you create big impact, but through small changes. Thanks for joining us this week on Eye Openers. Make sure to visit brittnydrose.com/podcast for this week's show notes. And if you found value in today's episode, I would so appreciate you giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or share it with a friend. Also, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. This all helps to support the show.